Yes, yes. All right. Let me leave Doug Ernst in place for a moment of Soul Finder fame. Click the links for Odysee, BitChute, or support the channel anonymously or otherwise. So, Dune, Normie Planet. The issue is the poster for China. The black girl, the race swapped character, versus for the United States, but not for China. That's the other one was the American poster. This is the Chinese poster. They're both good compositions. Why? Because China does not like those people on screen. It's not politically correct, but China does not give a fudge. They don't have 50 years of the ADL calling them istophobes for their beauty preferences. This is the American cover. It's a good composition, too. The moon in the background. I would have brought the moon up a little bit in brightness or contrast or something to make it stand out a little bit. But they're both fine, except there's a difference in the image. If you're noticing, the black chick has been cropped out of the Chinese one, as they did for Star Wars with Finn. And if you want to dress up as Green Blatt for Halloween, it is the spitting image of Nosferatu. So China doesn't get political correctness, which is so refreshing when you talk to one of them and you hear their opinions on life, the universe, and everything. It's like Empire of Dust based levels. Hollywood lectures us but gives China a pass. Now, the normie take is half wrong. That the Hollywood motive is money, it really isn't. And when people wake up to that, will be, I don't know what will happen. Well, I suspect what will happen when people wake up to that. They have like Soros levels of money. They have so much money to push propaganda that for their purposes, you can assume they will never go woke, go broke. Take Disney, for example. Even if they get so woke, the company actually implodes and goes bankrupt or sells off assets or goes under receivership or whatever they call it. So what? The top 1,000 shot callers at the executive level will cash out and go to other studios. They simply don't care about 95% of the employees who, be fair, would also go elsewhere. These people are like ants. They work together, or rats. As one ship sinks, they will simply swim to another ship. The company itself is nothing. It's a way to accrue individual profit. The jural person, the corporate shell, is just a tool. They want to make money individually, and the apex vermin predators want to spread globalism. The other 95% of the company, the employees, are fungible. And really, the risk of Disney or Netflix going out of business is pretty small. They're easing the woke in slowly. Every so often, these companies have bombs, like Ghostbusters 2016, Charlie's Angels, Terminator, at the X-Woman thing, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, and there's been probably a dozen other that were kind of like woke examples of movies that just missed the mark. Like lately, over the past 18 months during the Wu flu, Black Widow and not the G.I. Joe thing, but the Cobra. There's been a bunch of them that have just been barely kind of Shang-Chi. It's like, yeah, it's going to profit barely. But the thing is, they just spread the bombs out. Though, to be honest, in the past 5 years, it seems like there's been more and more actual bombs. They spread the bombs out because all it takes is one huge mega hit to carry a few of these underperformers or bombs. This is not a business with money as the primary motive. The top 3% who actually make decisions are on board with the agenda. Are they all Lucifer worshipping, spirit cooking, kitty diddling, panty sniffing perverts? Sort of. The apex are. If their motives was money, they would make films like you remember from the 70s and 80s. And oh, what a good time that was for films. I mean, for, just the silly popcorn stuff. When men acted like women and women didn't have penises. Remember when movies had blonde people in them? Yeah, those days are gone forever. Let me put it, unless they're the bad guys, of course. Those pesky Germans are back. Let me put it this way. If a film was cast like 77 Star Wars instead of 2015 Star Wars, which one would make more money? If movie companies were going the way of chasing the dollar. They wouldn't care what 50,000 Twitter weirdos said, who, they're either going to see the movies or not see the movies, but their outrage isn't causing anyone to not. Oh, I'm definitely not going to see the movie now. You already saw it. Oh. Well, oh. Yeah. They would just put beautiful blonde people in everything because blondes are the most attractive. It's like a phallic vaginal symbol all in one. So the normie take is that they're pandering to China for money. Oh, those gosh darn normies. But that is illogical because they would have been more successful if they didn't race swap characters. If the character was a European guy on the poster, as it was in the book, more people would see the movie. Or if they swapped him out for a sexy Swedish girl, the movie would make more money. Putting what's-her-face purse puppy on a poster and in the film hurts the movie. She literally costs the movie profit. I guarantee that there is research that proves who attracts eyeballs and gets people to spend money. I'll leave it. Attractive people attract people, I'll say. If the movie had stayed true to form, it would have made more money. This girl brought nothing to the table. She actually scared away more people than she brought in. Oh, but those people are Nazis. We don't want their money. Yeah, the Chinese fascists. Yeah, that's the point. They're not profit motivated. If you were profit motivated, you'd go after the largest target audience. They're not. They're absolutely not, which should raise the hairs on the back of your neck because allegedly these are commercial enterprises publicly traded on the stock exchange with, people who have part ownership by owning stock. They're not chasing the profit. Whatever their articles of incorporation are filed as, wokeness, if they're being honest, would be on there. They're willing to lose money to push a purse puppy race swapped character. Swapping her in hurt the film artistically. It's not keeping to the pure artistic vision. It's a lie for propaganda purposes. It's not art. It's a narrative. But the art community in movies and films has completely removed themselves from art. They've bent over so fast. The race swapping violates the original artistic vision. If it was organic, you would have Wakanda be German or Chinese or whatever. It's not organic. And I mean, I don't think they even, maybe they try to tell themselves, I don't know, to hold their conscience up. I don't know what they tell themselves. They probably just count money and do more cocaine. They have got so far away from that, they don't even know what it is anymore. Movies at the small scale are not the same as at the bigger scale. Compare Clerks 1 to Clerks 2 or Jay and Silent Bob 1 versus 2. Everything woke turns to dirt. If you talk to them, you can get them to admit that they're making propaganda and not art, or even commercial art, but they've been doing it for so long that they don't know how stupid and painfully cringy it is. They're deep in an echo chamber. Even when they're amongst themselves, I wonder what those conversations are like. They just constantly just jerking each other off, blowing smoke up each other's tails, just saying, oh, this is stunning and brave. It's like, yeah, you've been doing this for a few months now, a few years now. It's like, it's not financially successful. It doesn't seem like the audience is on board with it. Oh, they're just Nazis. We'll just get a new audience. Yeah, but I mean, you've been doing it for several years and it's not catching on. Well, just give it time, put more money into it. Hey, it's your company. So if you have a small indie film or comic and it gets eyeballs and a company wants you to make the sequels with them, they're going to have you start race swapping characters. Now, here is the thing that what Myers talks about the Netflix crowd. They're chasing those Netflix deals, the option crowd. They're chasing options, kind of thing. Who write stuff like Vagrant Queen? It's written for Netflix in mind, or the Sci-Fi Network picked it up and then it bombed because it's like there's woke and then there's way over the top. Like what's the name? Visaggio's woke levels. They're hoping the comic gets picked up, but here is the interesting thing. They're shooting themselves in the foot because they start with purse puppies and nobody buys the story, so it never catches a wider audience's eyes because people hate diversity for obvious reasons. It feels like propaganda written by some globalist pussy, which is exactly what it is. They'd be better off writing an authentic story without the cringy multiculturalism. Let it catch fire organically. Then, when Netflix or Sci-Fi or Hulu picks it up, that's when you sell out and you race swap a bunch of super smart little black girls. These SJWs are selling out way too early. I'm not saying sell out or don't sell out, but I mean, they're going into it with the goal of selling out. But you got to know when to sell out, and you have to get an audience first. You can't sell something to Netflix if like 900 people are buying it. You want a Walking Dead type of phenomenon, something where I mean, that's massively successful, but you want some measure of success. You don't just want to put a multicultural, diverse purse puppies together and hope like Netflix is picking up, because anyone can do that. You have to, like, you want to get an audience first, and then ultimately, if you're going to screw your audience over and disappoint them, I'm not saying you should do that, but I mean, that's what these people are going to do. That's how you sell out. Like, if you're going to sell out, then sell out properly. Get yourself paid, as opposed to these people who are writing directly for Netflix. And like, what is their option? It's like, okay, here's your $17,000. Like, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, your comic book was selling, 1,200 issues per month. It's like the option to make it for a Sci-Fi network it's worth $57,000. Oh, okay. I mean, it's a nice little chunk of change, but it's not, Whereas opposed, if your Vagrant Queen type of story was, like, 50,000, or the first month was 1,200, then it's slowly started increasing, where most modern comics steadily decrease. And I think Mags has a history of all their comics by issue 5 are sub 1,000. So it's like that you're selling that to Netflix. They're not idiots. They can look at this and go, this is very limited market appeal. You would have been better off making it look optically like 77 Star Wars and less girl power, like interracial, interspecies, feminism, lesbian, trans stuff. Like, you're selling to 900 people in a country of a third of a billion people. It's a little weird. My point is, they're selling out way too early. You don't want to start with the gay, trans, otherkins start. You want to start with like normal people, and then let Netflix swap the characters after they've paid you for, like, you sell out for like $250,000, not for, $57,000. You got to have your principles, right? I mean, it's just an IP. It's just a property. It's like you can write something else, but like, these people are writing stuff that sucks to start with, and then Netflix is picking it up, and they know it's going to be just background material for like the Sci-Fi Netflix. Like, okay, it'll go for 7 issues. It's just on the background because we literally have nothing else to put there, and it's like it only costs us $40,000 per episode to film or whatever. If you follow me. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel if you wish, and I will see you guys all on Alt Media, Odysee, and BitChute.